This video was taped during the most adverse weather conditions of the 1987 deer season. Equip yourself to learn from the experts how to be successful when the odds are not always in your favor. Learn techniques as demonstrated by Noel Feather and Dan Fitzgerald. Noel Feather Hunting Videos presents Bitter Cold Bucks, featuring Noel Feather and Dan Fitzgerald. To rattle up and kill a Boone and Crockett buck such as this is quite a feat. But to take 3 Boone and Crockett whitetails using this method has only been done by one man, Mr. Noel Feather.
Hi there. I'd like to tell you a little bit about this video and what we was trying to accomplish when we made it. Most of the footage of this video was filmed at 0 temperatures or below. One particular morning, it was 18 below 0. And that's too cold to be in the woods, but we was out there. Fact is, our cameraman, he couldn't take but about a half hour of it, and his feet got cold and went to the van on us. We didn't kill a deer that morning, but we did get some good footage. But what I wanted to show was that horn rattling or grunt calls and the use of lure will work in the late season the same as they'll work earlier in the year. Now, they're not going to work maybe as well. The month of November, there's no doubt about it, is probably the best time of year to kill a deer. But you can't just hunt the month of November, or at least I can't. I got to be out there trying in December too, when it gets cold. A lot of guys will quit hunting by Thanksgiving. As far as I'm concerned, they're making a big mistake. I think some of the best hunting is later on in the year. And the reason for that is that the hunting pressure is a lot less in the late season than it is early. Because everybody's out hunting in October. It's beautiful weather, beautiful scenery. It's a good time of year to be in the woods. I love to hunt then. But in the late season, over half of the hunters probably are going to be home watching television, watching football or whatever. And this is when I really like to hunt, is because you don't have the pressure. A deer is he's operating on his normal instincts. He's not nearly as apt to be a spooky with so many people in the woods. He's not acting normal. I mean, like during gun season, everybody's out there. These deer are running around, their tongue hanging out, breathing hard, and he's just going crazy, running from one place to another, trying to get away from people. And during the late season, why there's not nearly as much pressure, and a buck is operating normally, you can take lure, or you can take grunt call, you can take horns, and I think you have a better chance of bringing him in. The hunting is not nearly as good looking at the rut. I mean, the first rut is over, and the rut thing probably isn't quite as good as it would be in November, but there is other advantages. And so if you don't mind the cold, you're willing to put up with it, I think it's a good time of year to kill a trophy buck. At this time, I'd like to take you into the woods and show you some of the footage and some of the kills that we had, and I think you'll be impressed with it.
Nationally known bow hunter and guide Dan Fitzgerald sets up his tree stand in a woodlot, bordering a swamp on one side and a stubble cornfield on the other. Dan's intentions are to attempt to intercept a buck from his bedding area to the stubble corn, where most of the deer in the area are now being forced to feed. Hunting on such cold days can be very rewarding even if you are unsuccessful. It has a tendency to make you appreciate the warm camp awaiting after you are half frozen. Some days you wonder if it's worth leaving that warm bed. But at the first glimpse of deer movement, that thought is soon erased. Noel and Dan would be hunting on opposite sides of the swamp. Dan would try calling with his natural voice using various vocalizations, such as fawn distress calls, doe calls, and grunt calls. Dan has successfully called many bucks using this method over the years, though he now prefers the grunt call used by Noel, making it much easier to get the volume out to distant bucks, especially during the rut. Dan's first attempts bring in this yearling doe. Dan could have taken this deer and shortened his stay in a cold stand, but preferred to wait for a buck. The waiting paid off, for in a short time the calling attracted this buck. Once the buck spotted the doe, he decided to try to pursue her. Dan believes in shooting all the poundage one can handle efficiently, to be able to penetrate bones if that be the case. Here Dan is shooting 90 pounds. Dan continued to call and brought the doe right under his stand. And then...
He's down. Good hit.
Notice that Dan's arrow passes through the buck and sticks in the snow on the opposite side. This buck did not know it hit him.
There's the arrow. I told you I shot right through him.
Where was the deer standing when you hit him?
He was standing just like this, angling this way. What happened? He was walking this way, and I got him. I thought I got him right in the lung, but it went on an angle like that, and I might have got him in the guts too. The reason I think that, see on one side of this arrow, see this right here?
Definitely got guts.
There's looks like a lot of red blood there.
You got blood too,
And
so.
guts too. But look at that blood trail. Man, he is
Nice.
pouring.
You got more than just guts.
Look at
There's no
that
doubt
blood.
about that. You wouldn't have got that much blood. I'd give
It's
him
been quite a while.
I'd give him a little more time. There's no use taking a chance. If you jump him, you know, if you didn't hit anything, you don't put him down. His guts is going to kill him, but it ain't going to kill him quick.
It's been quite a while, but I'll tell you what, I can stand the weight on him if you want to go have coffee.
No, that's fine with me. We can have a coffee and you know come back. As long as we should leave ourselves plenty of light, you know, for tracking.
How'd you do over there this morning?
Didn't do any good at all.
You didn't see any deer?
I seen two little ones. They was off towards that swamp, but never even nothing come close. Man, was it cold over there?
Oh, I'll tell you what, man, it was. This buck was chasing two does. One of them come by me a couple of times. I could have got it come right by me close. He chased her all over that woods though. I could see him out there running.
I'm sure they're still chasing them. That's why they'll come to Rattlehorns yet in the late season.
You know what happened? He was chasing, it looked like a yearling doe. There's a little doe, and she probably just coming in heat. And he was chasing that little doe all around.
Possibly could be.
There was two does running through there, but that
Or
little one just
sometimes
right
they'll be
on.
bred early in the year and they don't stick. They'll come back in. You know, they'll come back in season again later.
Well, let me tell you, you ain't gonna believe this. This is a 4-pointer about that wide.
4-point buck.
A 4-point buck about that wide. Points, his main beams are about that long, and he splits off on the end. But he's just a 4-pointer.
Is this for real, or is this one of them that you exaggerate? You do have a tendency to exaggerate.
This is a big 4-pointer.
It's like one of them you always tell me he's got a rack this wide, you know. We're not hunting elk, we're hunting deer.
I just got back from elk hunting, though. I still got elk on the brain.
I got a foot wet crossing the creek.
Let's go have some coffee.
I'm ready to head in and get some dry socks.
Well, there's blood.
There's a lot of blood there.
Yeah, he's leaving. I think I got part of a lung. Or I got
He's
one
bleeding.
lung and some guts.
He's
I don't know.
bleeding pretty good.
Yeah.
He shouldn't go too far. See, you got more than guts, there's no doubt about that.
We
All
waited
this
long
blood,
enough.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, he should be down. He's bleeding pretty good. Yeah, he didn't get both lungs, so he would never run. Probably back in. He went more than Man, there's a lot of blood there. He must have stopped right there.
Look at that blood. He's still bleeding good right there.
He ain't going too much blood.
There's where he laid down right there.
Yeah, and there's your buck.
There he is.
There's the buck.
There he is. He laid down here for quite a while. Well, he laid down
What he
there.
looks like. Man, he must be fine. Ain't no 4-pointer.
Well, I thought it was a 4-pointer.
He's got brow tine. He's got two on the side.
Little bitty brow tine.
Little bitty my buck. That's not too bad a brow tine for a 6-point buck. Look at that rack. God, that sucker's heavy. That's a heavy rack for a 6-point buck.
Man, look at that thing.
He's
Look how
got
wide that is right there.
He's thick too. He's massive, you know? Look at here. How thick he is right there.
Well, I told you he was wide 4-pointer. Must have had my glasses on backwards.
He's a wide one, all right. I've never seen a 6-pointer much heavier than that. That's a good buck, really is.
What it is. Looks like a mule deer.
You had to have seen them brow tines.
Told you I have my glasses on backwards.
Bad buck.
Didn't have my regular hat on.
Well, put her there.
He's a good one.
Well, you get a high rack, doesn't
Man, ain't that nice?
Rack is high.
Yeah.
Chasing the doe, huh?
Man, he was chasing that doe around and around. It was a yearling doe, little doe.
This is not a very old buck.
Now, he's probably, what do you think he is? Ain't no way to tell.
No, not without looking at his teeth, but I'll bet you he's not over 2.5, 3 years old. He just looks young. But he's got a lot of horn for a buck that size.
You know what? You missed it by not being over here, though. He was grunting up a storm. If you'd have been over here with a grunt call, you'd have been able to manipulate him around.
It's been fun to play with him. I didn't do any good at all over there where I think. Not at all. I didn't have a camera with me anyway, so it wouldn't make a lot of difference this morning.
We only saw him and the 2 does. That's all we saw. But anyways,
Well, let's get him back camp.
he's a good one.
I'm ready to go back and get some.
Is it cold enough?
It's cold enough to suit me.
Man,
Tell you
my
what,
smiles froze.
20 below this morning, I don't think it's warmed up much.
Well, there's my stand in that pine tree right there.
Well, we know they've been bedding
Yeah.
over in this swamp.
Yeah.
If we can get set up here, if I can find a good spot to get set up where I can get hid pretty good to rattle, you're going to go in this tree right here.
Yep. If they're probably going to be coming out of that swamp headed this way. So, like riding down in them dead logs right there. How would that be for you to get down in there?
Well,
That way you're a good 50 yards from my stand.
tree bark should blend in pretty good with that big tree, so
Yeah.
that's probably as good as any, these
All right.
pines. Why don't you go ahead and get your tree, and I'll go ahead over and get set up.
I'll tell you what. If you can't rattle one up in a half hour, we're going to have to head back, buddy.
I don't know if I can take much of this.
Man, this is tough.
Let's give her a
Let's
try.
do it.
On this day, it was 18 degrees below zero, with the wind blowing hard out of the swamp. Dan decides to get in a high stand so as not to alarm a buck in case one comes by his stand. This is one of Dan's favorite setups for all times of the hunting season, October through December. He has taken many trophy bucks from this tree. Notice the ice forming on Dan's beard. Noel positions himself further downwind and prepares to rattle. Dan remembers several times when it was worth the effort to withstand the cold in this location. Getting only does to respond and then seeing them leave with flags erect, Dan knows he will be unsuccessful this day. Here Noel sets up and attempts to rattle a buck for Tom. Dan decides to give his cameraman, Tom Sell, a chance to take a buck. This will be Tom's first shot ever at a buck. Notice the arrow as it enters high in the buck's back. Tom got more penetration than meets the eye as Tom shoots a full 33-inch arrow.
Get some good footage of that?
I'll tell you what, you shot him when he was right in front of that tree. I don't know if I got the hit, but I got him running with the arrow.
Did he get it on film?
I don't know. He's saying that it's behind the tree.
You think you got her, Dan?
He shot it when it was right in front of the tree. I know I got the deer running with the arrow, but I don't know if I got the contact of
I
it.
tell you what, I wish I'd had the camera with me. I could see it, man. I could see it perfect.
Oh, you got him good. He went right down through his back into his lungs.
Sneaking in there, he didn't know what was going on, though, did he? That little son of a gun. Well, I said, little, that ain't bad buck.
No, he's nice.
For a first buck guy, you should be proud of him.
Yeah.
It looked to me like that you hit him a little bit too far back.
Yeah.
Could you tell anything, Dan?
It was high. You got him high in the back, right down through the middle of the back. You almost spine shot him.
I'd go along with that. But it looked like he was angled forward. So if you did, if you was angled forward enough, you should have got a lung. At least one, maybe two. I don't know.
And I hope it's good enough hit.
Let's go and see if we can find some blood.
There's some blood.
There's blood here. Here's blood, Dan.
He took my arrow with him.
Yeah, you think?
The arrow was still in him.
Yeah, I saw the arrow too. I hope that's on the
Tell you
film.
what, I think we should wait, even though I think it's a good hit. I think we should give him at least an hour and start tracking him on the snow. We shouldn't have any problem.
You think
And then if we don't do any, you know, if we come back in an hour and we don't find him right away, we'll give him another couple hours. But I think it's a good hit.
he'll bed down somewhere.
He'll lay down if we don't push him. So I think that's the thing to do. Let's give him a good hour, Dan.
Okay.
Well, we've come about 150 yards.
I hope I got a lung. There he is. Come out of
Hey,
He's a dandy.
that's a nice first buck, buddy.
Boy, you know, when he come in, I could see snow and ice froze to that son of a gun.
I know, he looked cold.
I don't see how they take all the cold weather they do.
I warmed him up, though.
You warmed him up, all right. What's he got? 6, 8?
Oh, 1, 2. What is this? Does this count as a deduction?
It's an inch long.
Yeah. 4 on each side.
I'd say about 7. That's at
Yeah,
least an
7.
inch long.
Yeah.
No, he's a nice buck.
Yeah.
I tell you what, this late season hunting's tough. I don't see how these deer, I don't see how they get by as good as they do. But at least one thing made a believer out of you, didn't it, on that horn rattling
Man,
in
you
the
sure did.
late season?
I appreciate your help.
Well, I was glad to do it for you. I was just happy we could get the job done. It don't always work like that, you know.
Well, he come in there, man.
Noel will attempt to bring a buck to this stand, one of Dan's favorites. Dan thought at this point, would this be Noel's fourth Boone and Crockett? Not this one. After several days of unsuccessful hunts, Dan takes Noel to a different location where there was much buck activity during the rut. Dan and Noel both prefer to shoot heavy bows even in extreme cold weather. They say there is a certain feeling of confidence knowing you have the horsepower when it counts. Dan wasn't sure whether or not they would stir any bucks, but it would be worth a try, as the season was fast coming to an end. Often the cameraman spots the deer before the hunter. Notice the body heat, escaping as the arrow passes through the deer. The heavy poundage pays off again.
Man, was that cool?
What do you think of
Whoa!
That was
Did you ever
neat.
see anything in your life like that?
Hey, that's the fastest I've ever seen a deer die.
I thought he was going to die right there in front of me.
That deer only lived 5-10 seconds
That
at
arrow
the
went
most.
through that deer so quick he didn't even know what hit him. He turned around. I didn't even think he was going. I thought he was going to die right there. He turned around and when he did take off, he was staggering.
That's the most humane kill I've ever seen.
He didn't go 25 yards.
I know it.
Man, he's a dandy though, ain't he? Look at there.
That stinking tree when I swung that camera around, I couldn't stay on him. That big tree right in front of my stand, I never anticipated he'd go around behind me like that.
You mean you didn't get it on footage?
Oh yeah, I got him running to that tree, and then that tree was in my way. I didn't see where he went until he jumped off.
Did you see him go down?
Oh, I saw it. I got him dying on the video, but I couldn't get him. The tree blocked him for 3 or 4 seconds. But I got him running around. I got him till the tree got my way, and then I got him dying. I got him dying.
Well, maybe we got something worth we can use. I don't know. We'll just lose it back.
That tree was right my way. I tried on both sides to get past that tree, and I couldn't get past. I got him.
If we don't get this on
I'll tell you what, when he ran away, I could see the blood streaming right out of the bottom of that hole where you shot through his
heart. I know it. Even before he run, it looked like a faucet, man. It was just pouring out there on the ground.
Uh-huh.
Did you see him when he was coming? I seen him.
Oh, he was 200-300 yards away.
Did you see the little buck ahead of him?
One of those 2 bucks was grunting. Every time you'd grunt, they'd grunt back. I could hear him grunting. It
was probably this buck here. But, man, I'll tell you, I could see that dude sneaking in there, that little buck. I could see him real good.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if the angle where you was at, if you was getting it.
Well, I got quite a bit of the stuff of the bucks coming in.
There's the arrow sticking in the ground, right where it went through the deer. He did not go.
I couldn't believe
He did not go 25 yards.
I've never seen a deer act like that before. I mean, it went through him so fast that he just did not know what happened.
I've had guys say that, I heard guys say they put an arrow through a deer and deer took a couple steps and started eating. But I never ever had it happen. Any deer I ever shot, they just run like crazy till they dropped.
I don't think this one could have done any eating. I think he was pretty sick.
Man, I never in my life seen anything like that.
Let's get him tagged and get back to camp.
Okey-doke.
He's a dandy. Well, I'll tell you.
That's a good one. Well, you've seen a little bit about what I was talking about. I think you could tell from the way the ice and the snow was froze there in old Ann's beard that one morning she was 18 below zero, that it was a little bit chilly. That was the morning we lost our cameraman. There's a couple things that I didn't mention when I was talking earlier. The fact that there's no foliage on the trees in the late season is a big advantage. You can see a deer a lot farther. And this is especially helpful when you're horn rattling. And usually in the late season, you've got snow on the ground. It's real crunchy and makes a lot of noise when a deer is walking. You can hear him for a greater distance. And this gives you a chance to also see the deer. Hang up your rattle horns, or even if you're not horn rattling, just be ready. Get that bow and be ready, because that makes a lot of difference. So these are some of the things that I think are advantages to hunting in the late season. As I always tell everybody in my seminars, you can't kill a deer sitting home watching television. So the guy that spends the most time in the woods and works at it the hardest, I think he's going to be the guy that ends up the luckiest, basically putting in the time. And all the days are not cold. There's a lot of times out there in the late season it may be 30, 40 degrees. And that's a super time to be out. I mean, that's like hunting in latter October, the first part of November. So these are some of the advantages. And if you've never hunted the late season, it's definitely worth a try. So get out there next season and give it a whirl. At this time, I'd like to thank you for buying this video, and we enjoyed bringing it to you, and I hope you enjoyed watching.